Hello, everybody. Welcome to the HIPster Camel Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Jody Paramore, along with Jennifer Seagraves, and we are both colleagues at Campbell University and just have a passion for this topic of high impact practices. So on our show, we feature exemplary faculty that are just involved in high impact practices. And so this is meant to educate other faculty internally and externally as well into higher ed of just what everybody is up to with high impact practices. And so today's episode 3, we are focusing on undergraduate research. And so really excited. A lot of the literature is just really solid on how important this is for students, student engagement and student learning. Of just, real life career building skills. And so we are going to, we have a couple of guests here that are just really experts in undergraduate research, this area, to talk to us about what they have been up to here at Campbell. And I'm just going to pass it over to my co-host, Jennifer Seagraves, to take it from here and introduce you to them.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jennifer Seagraves. I'm the Instructional Pedagogy and Curriculum Materials Media Librarian here at Campbell, and I want to thank you all for coming today to talk about undergraduate research. Particular interest of me in the as a librarian here and working in the Teaching Resource Center. So I have the pleasure of introducing our two guests today. We've got Michelle Thomas, who is our Associate Professor of Biology. She teaches general biology, microbiology, immunology, and molecular techniques. And then we've also got Dr. Evan Reynolds, our Associate Professor of Chemistry. And both of these faculty here have been involved in the campus-wide Ester T. Howard Undergraduate Research Fellows, and we're going to learn more about that later. But I thought we'd start off with a little rapid fire questioning to get to know our guests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a statement, for example, coffee or tea. And then you guys just give me your immediate response, coffee or tea. And so I'll start with the statement, then Michelle, you can give your answer, and then Evan. So our first rapid fire question is orange or black?
Orange.
Orange, yeah.
Your favorite place on campus?
The lab.
I was going to say my lab. Yeah.
So a biology lab and a chem lab?
Yeah.
Great. So who or what is inspiring your teaching this week?
My students.
Yeah. My students always inspire the teaching. Yeah.
Great. And then your favorite class this semester that you're teaching, and why?
I always hate the favorite questions because I love things about every single thing. So that's really hard for me, but probably my labs, just because I get to interact with the students a great deal in laboratory.
For me, it's probably my Biochemistry 2 class, just because I don't get to teach that one every year. So it's always a treat when I do get to teach it. So that's for sure mine.
Great. Well, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
The Howard Research Fellows Program is in its 5th year of operation. The idea is that the program engages students with a particular science question or research question in which they will work closely with a faculty mentor to explore that question and conduct some type of research over a summer month.
In our research, we're actually investigating a type of virus that infects bacteria, and that virus is called a bacteriophage. And these phages do not harm human hosts, but they can be used to actually target and destroy bacterial invaders. I would say the most important thing I've gained through this program is my laboratory skills and being able to work in a research environment. You know, as an undergraduate student, you don't always get to see that correlation between research and what you want to do in the future as a career.
What stands out to me is definitely two major things. One is just giving students a chance to do research. So with this project, I was able to pick anything I wanted to. And with the help of my faculty advisor, Dr. Nelson, I realized that family sociology is what I really enjoy. And now I get to do the research for family sociology, which is just awesome.
The Student Research Fellows program means a lot to me. It's been an amazing opportunity for me, not just this summer, but last summer as well. My research project this year is about 1980s thrash metal and its connection to Gothic Romanticism in literature, specifically focusing on the apocalyptic nature of the two areas of art.
We want to hear from you on the Ester H. Howard Student Research Fellow Program and your experience specifically with the work that you've done in that. Now, Ester H. Howard was a graduate of Campbell Junior College. She attended Meredith for her BA and UNC Chapel Hill. She was a trustee of the university and very active in the Buies Creek community. During her career, she remained active as a Campbell alumna, serving as a member of the Board of Trustees, the Presidential Board of Advisors, and the president of the Harnett County Loyalty Campaign, which raised money for student scholarships. Howard herself established 3 scholarships at Campbell and was a donor to multiple capital campaigns, including the Wallace, Mary M. Wallace, Osteopathic Medicine, renovations for D. Rich, the Wiggins Memorial Library renovations, John W. Pope Jr. Convocation Center, Lundy Fetterman School of Business, and more. In 1994, she was named a Distinguished Alumna of Campbell, and she received the prestigious Presidential Medallion in 2000. She also received the School of Education's Lifetime Achievement Award and the North Carolina Baptist Heritage Award. She passed away just a couple of years ago in 2022 at the age of 96. So the fellowship program is named for her. And so Campbell has an initiative strategic plan. And part of that plan, I think it's 1.4, is to establish a student research program for our undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. And both of you, I know, have just been instrumental in that program, and I'd love for you to speak a little about your experience.
Well, I'm Dr. Evan Reynolds. I'm in the chemistry and physics department, and I have been coordinating the Howard Research Fellows program for the past 6 years. But the program was born under the leadership of the former provost, Dr. Hammond, who had really made it his long-term goal to establish an undergraduate research program at Campbell, because none had existed before the fellows program. And so he got a committee together of faculty and other administrators, of which Michelle was part of the committee, I believe. And so they worked to organize this program and get it off the ground. And it started the summer of 2018. And that first summer, it was actually coordinated by former librarian Elizabeth Dobbins. And then after she finished that first summer, she thought it best to hand it off to a faculty member to take over. And so that's when I stepped in, and I've been leading the program ever since. And Michelle is planning to take up the program this summer and into the future. So it's a wonderful program. It's really great because it's university wide, so it's open to any undergrad from any discipline. And so we accept 6 students each summer to participate, and students come from all departments: English, history, mathematics, engineering, chemistry, biology. So we get a great mix of students and different projects, and they all meet together and share their work and learn from each other. So it's really awesome to see that and to hear about so many different fields every year. It's great for the students because it provides an immersive research experience. They're able to engage in research in a way that they wouldn't normally be able to during the school year when everyone's a little bit more busy. So it's 8 weeks over the summer that they're able to do research essentially full time if they want to. They get a stipend for their work, and they get to work closely with a faculty mentor to really learn the details of the field and how research is done in their particular discipline. And so it's a great learning opportunity. It's also great for professional development for the students. They get to work on presentation opportunities. They present their work during the summer to their group, to the cohort of other fellows, as well as presenting at a venue on campus. Usually in the fall, we have a poster session that students participate in, and a lot of students also participate in the Wiggins Academic Symposium in the spring, and many of the students also travel off campus to present at other venues. So it's great to build that professional skill set in communicating their research. And it's also really great just to have on their resume, because I think as students are looking towards graduate school or their careers, it's a great thing to have, to be able to say that you've done research that shows that you have some critical thinking ability and have some like real world skills, if you may, that can apply to work in either graduate school or a job.
I think Evan really summarized everything really well. But I'm Michelle Thomas. I am a faculty member in the Department of Biological Sciences, and my emphasis is always on microbiology, but I've got a lot of interests in biology. And yeah, I was part of the inception of the actual program. In fact, Dr. Hammond was just amazing in terms of his support for getting a program established at Campbell. And I am so appreciative, definitely, that the university has invested, funds to be able to support the program, because it's one of the avenues that our students can take in order to really do. And I think that Evan summarized it well with the immersion in research. And so that one-on-one experience with a faculty mentor over the summer, you really don't get quite that level of depth when you're doing it during the semester, because they're juggling so many different things during the semester. But yeah, that's probably everything Evan said. I just, could reiterate. But
question that I wanted to ask you guys has to do with how do you think this could be? I know that it's hard during the school year to kind of, for undergraduate students to do research, but how could we increase the scope of what we're doing to get more students involved? Is there any plans in the future for the program, or any goals, or anything could be done outside of the program that you think could help this high impact practice you know um, engage more students and have so they can see a lot of these impacts that these students are having? And this could go to either one of you guys.
so for me personally, when I'm thinking about integrating more research and reaching more students, I think that I look at it that there's two different levels. There's the level where you're doing it with an individual research project with an individual student or a couple of students, that is more independent study, more in depth. And then there's the other component where you integrate research into the coursework that's in your classroom or in the laboratory. And so I think that to reach more students, that more faculty members have to get invested in doing what we usually call cures, or course-based undergraduate research, that gets embedded into either class or lab situations. So I know for us in the biology department, different faculty over the years have integrated things in different ways. For me, it was integrating a more nationally known cure that's called Tiny Earth. And the whole basic premise of the cure is for microbiology students to be investigating a problem. And in this case, the problem is we have antibiotic resistance. And because bacteria are becoming resistant, a lot of those infections are challenging to treat. So the cure is all about how can we engage students to go out there, explore their environment, isolate microbes, because a lot of the antibiotics come from microbes themselves. So we're looking for new species of microbes that could be producing antibiotics. And so we've been able to embed this cure, which a lot of faculty all over the United States and actually worldwide are doing. So I would be encouraging faculty members of different disciplines, because this could be done with a lot of different disciplines, not just the sciences, but to investigate different options for embedding some of these problem-based solving ideas into their coursework and into the classroom.
Awesome.
Hopefully that made sense.
Jennifer?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking back to this experience that I had in the library earlier this year. We had a faculty lightning talk, and we had some faculty come and give 10-minute presentations on their own research. And this year we incorporated a few of our Ester Howard research fellows, and they shared some of their research. And at the end, I mean, it was so good, and it was great to see the enthusiasm from the faculty, but to really have the students kind of pulled into that research experience and be part of it. And at the end of that event, I remember asking one of the students, "How did you get started in this?" And they said to me, "Oh, Dr. Reynolds, he just came up to me and told me, about this and encouraged me to do this." So I guess from the student perspective is it was such a positive experience for them. How do you go about recruiting students or bringing in students who maybe haven't had this experience before and bringing them into the research process? And what does that look like? And how do we teach other teachers to have that kind of enthusiasm? It's probably a lot right there, but
yeah, at least for me personally, I try to publicize the research opportunities that I have available as widely as possible. I try to speak to my classes about them. That includes like my freshman level classes, like the general chemistry classes and the freshman seminar class. I think the student who you're referring to was in my freshman seminar class, and so that was the first time she had heard about research. And yeah, I encouraged all of them in the seminar class to think about it, because there was a class full of chemistry and biology majors. And so I think in particular in the sciences, it's really important to get involved in research, but really students from any discipline, I think, can benefit from it. And so I make it known that students should look for opportunities and try to get involved as early as possible. For me personally, I enjoy getting students who are just starting out in the lab. I like working with them and starting with them from the ground up, kind of building a foundation, because they get a lot of new things that they don't see in the classroom in research anyways. So even if you're looking at a junior or senior student, probably the stuff that you're going to be doing with them in research is not stuff that they've seen before in any of their coursework. So in my mind, a freshman student is really not that different than a junior or senior student when it comes to doing research. I think the ability is there. They might have to do a little bit more background reading to catch themselves up on some of the like didactic pieces, but as far as like getting in the lab and getting that hands-on experience, pretty much everyone is almost at the same level. And I have tried to incorporate some cures, as Michelle talked about, in my upper level classes. And that helps as well to kind of broaden the impact and broaden the reach of my research. But yeah, I allow freshman students to get started in my research lab frequently, and I've had great experiences with that so far.
Any final thoughts about how we keep expanding and growing undergraduate research on our campus? Michelle, you want to go first?
So I think, continued working, like probably the continuing of working through because we have the student research committee, which sort of houses the fellowship. And I think that, continued work through that will be the way to, continue promoting research on campus. But yeah, I think also just probably having any faculty that are interested in research with students, feel free to reach out to, the committee, to myself even. And I'm more than happy to talk with people about what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Evan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think the faculty are already doing a lot of research here at Campbell, so I think it's a matter of just like spreading the word to students, speaking about your research in your classes, and letting them know that there's opportunities for them that are available. Not necessarily with you, but maybe with other faculty in your department. You could always tell them about the other research that's happening in your department, and let them know that research is really just a conversation away most of the time for these students. They just have to reach out to a professor and start a conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us on the podcast as we highlight undergraduate research. And just remind our audience that a lot of our discussion on high impact practices in general were part of our kind of first episode on our show. So I refer you back to those first couple episodes to look at some of that discussion on just the benefits of high impact practices. And hope you will reach out to our guests or to me if you want to improve what you're doing with undergraduate research, or Jennifer, of course, and we would be glad to work with you. And so as a final reminder, just remember the exemplary academic and professional skills we seek for our students only happen when we have exemplary instructors. So go out there and be a hipster camel. God bless. See you later.
Thank you.